did try to reshovel the snow a little bit, and I was like, this is still a break.
Yeah.
So I stayed away from all that.
Yeah. So I take the bus and now you like climb up onto this solid ice platform and stand there. It's like, you're gonna be there like May.
Oh, God.
Bus driver today. Apparently I was going down Lombard on the
40.
and there's construction, which obviously she didn't know about. So we're sitting there and then she like backs up the bus.
Oh,
Like,
God.
you go, girl. Backs up the bus, then she gets out of the bus, clears the traffic at the intersection so she can back up through the intersection. It's like, wow.
They're
They
driving
were going on
both.
Walnut. I'm like,
Okay. Anything you say.
Then when I came back tonight, the air machine was broken. So I just had her like thing on. I'm like, it's not working. She's like,
No. Oh, goodness.
I mean, it's like, the life of a bus driver is not easy.
No. City bus drivers, too.
Not
They're just
easy.
We were driving in the storm, I was walking around that Sunday, like,
in it. Wow. There's always the one that I see, like when I'm on the highway, there's the bus that takes you from the city to King of Prussia, and that thing is flying on the highway. In a way that I'm like, you'll probably get there faster than I'm trying to get there.
Traveling by bus like that was more frequent in my generation, and I had a similar experience. We're like, oh, this bus is going really
Yeah. Do you think it's because everyone watched Speed? Everyone watched Speed with Keanu Reeves and.
I did not see that.
You didn't see that? Sandy Bean. It's just an iconic.
yeah, I was gonna say.
It's a bad movie. That's
I would argue that it's phenomenal.
in a bad kind of way.
But I have bad taste in movies.
I like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, they both look incredible. The whole premise is
See Sandra Bullock is good.
yes, young Sandy in the 90s, and it's the story is something happens. Runaway bus. They can't let it drop under a certain mileage. There's a bomb under the bus that if they drop under the mileage, it'll blow up. And there's like passengers. My heart's racing just talking about it. It's so good.
Don't spoil it.
I know. Something happens. Well, that's his whole thing is that
He's like completely chill. She's just crazy.
it's so good. I forgot about that movie. Hi, how are you?
Taxi Driver, that's another one. 50 years since Taxi Driver.
Uh-huh. Hi, all. We'll start in a couple of minutes, so take your time and get comfortable. We're waiting on a bunch of folks making their way through the ice blocks, but today we'll use everything we normally do. So definitely a strap towards the pose that we're moving towards. Some therapy balls that are in the white baskets, blocks and a blanket. And I can also grab you things as we start to move about, but a strap will be a very nice, helpful tool to see where we're gonna go. Let's see, 2, 3, okay. Do you want to try it? She brought in a fresh batch. Yeah, it's like ginger water. It's very good. And at her release party that I went to, they made amazing cocktails and stuff with it. No, this is the ginger snap juice that's downstairs in the fridge. Shakira, she's Philly based, and she makes it, yeah. Yes, she just dropped off a big batch of it on Saturday, like right before the workshop I was teaching. And I was like, do you like it? How do you look so well? She's like, I drink this morning, noon, and night, and I have fended off every cold ever imaginable. Yeah. Hi, y'all, welcome. Come on in, anywhere you'd like. And while you get comfortable, we'll grab all of the props this evening. So they're up here, there's blocks, a strap, and therapy balls, and then a blanket if you'd like some extra padding with the knees down on the ground, or a nice tuck in for Shavasana. But 2 blocks, a strap, some therapy balls. a blanket. Hi, Natasha. Okay. Okay. Hi, Amy. Good to see you. Good. How are you doing? Kids have been busy in their recitals. They look so fun. Yeah. Yeah, it shows. You can tell. They're just stiff. Oh, that's very sweet. Hmm. Oh. Yeah, that's fair. I'm creating a good landing pad. All right, y'all, let's get started. While you're getting settled, feel free to take your time to grab anything it is that you need. A strap will definitely be helpful moving towards where we're moving today, along with blocks, therapy balls, and a blanket. 38 degrees. I feel like a new woman. I left the house today in one less layer than I normally wear, and I feel the metaphorical warm light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm really happy we're all here. There's a few new faces to me, or maybe it's been some time since we said hi to each other, but my name is Anisha. I'm really happy you guys are all here, and I'm happy to practice with y'all. Just the way that class looks like today is that I'll be teaching and practicing from up here, just so that folks at home have a visual who are practicing online. But if anything I say needs clarification or you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me and call me over, and I can definitely help come and take a peek. And one eye is on my mat and one eyeball is always on you, so I'm keeping an eye out. If we were together last week, you might have remembered, or if this is our first time with each other, I often like to teach classes in a series. So month by month, we focus on a different series of poses, a different philosophical idea, a different mythological story. So flashback, rewind the VCR tape to January, we worked towards full splits for the whole month. And this month, we're working on arm balances and deep hip openers because they both go very sweetly hand in hand with each other. For in order to be able to balance on the hands, we ourselves have to get quite compact and small to create space where there might not have been. And what I shared last week that I'll share again is that in this yoga practice, you're thought to have, yes, your physical beating heart. We do not deny its existence, but when we talk about the heart in yoga practice, we're talking about the metaphorical heart, the one that lives not just in the front of your body, nor in the back, but in the very center of your being. So you'll hear me say a bunch of times all throughout class, what does it feel like to stand in and on and from your heart? And what I'm trying to allude to is that space right in the essence and center of your being. I got a lot more to say about it as we start to move about, but we practice in reverence to the heart and all that it creates and the spaciousness that it provides. So take breaks, sip water. The fans will turn on as soon as we start to get toasty, but give yourself time to pace yourself, because Punxsutawney Phil said we got 5 more weeks, if anyone watched that news. All right, let's begin in a comfortable seat, however you'd like. If you'd like to start lying on your back, please feel free to do so. You might be seated with your legs crossed underneath you. Perhaps you're seated up on your knees. But if you are in a seat, you might notice what it feels like to sit up on any gentle propping onto the edge of your blanket or the edge of your block, so that your hips naturally fall higher than your knees, to not only let your hip flexors lengthen, but also your low back lift and lengthen, just stacking the deck in your own favor. And as your eyes either close or soften to a point on the earth in front of you, let your hands rest into your lap or onto the tops of your thighs. And as you close your eyes, begin to listen for your own breath. When you close your eyes, it's a moment to see yourself more clearly than before, to temporarily tune out that external stimuli, and to draw your attention inward into that interior landscape. And it's here behind your eyes as you turn towards the darkness where you might begin to see flashes of light or spots of color or any familiar patterns or shapes that you've noticed throughout your own day. As you become more familiar with the dark, can you let your breath naturally begin to deepen? Let your next inhale move from your nose, past your heart, and into your belly. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the very crown of your head, so your head sits above your heart, and your heart rests above your hips. Take a few more breaths just on your own. Let each breath move in, down, and wide. And every exhale offers itself up and out in each direction. We'll start our practice and our time together with 3 more rounds of that same breath. So as you're ready, gather your hands to center anywhere that feels for you, perhaps on your chest or in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, a moment of self-reverence. But as you wait for your next inhale, let it fill you up completely. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. 2 more times, just on your own. At the bottom of your breath, you might bow to your heart, which is never further than your own breath. And as you keep a thread of that connection inward, gently release your hands, lift your chin, and as you blink your eyes open, come forward to tabletop this evening to start to link your breath and movement together. Have your blocks framing out the top corners of your mat. You might use them as we start to move about. And as you make your way to tabletop today, let your hands come as wide as your mat. Give yourself a little extra room. Let your index fingers point straight ahead. It might feel like you're fanning the rest of your hands out. And as you spread your fingers wide, let your knees be under your hips and curl your toes under. Now, as you begin to breathe, start to round and arch your spine, moving with your breath through a few rounds of cat and cow. Let's take 5 cycles of breath here together, just on your own. Seeing what it feels like to not only move your body in isolation, but how your breath and body can really harmonize together. For these next few rounds, you might stay in the rounded or arched shape for a few extra breaths. You might gently move back and forth, your hips towards your heels or shoulders forward of the wrists. But take 1 more full breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. As you come back to table, find your neutral spine. Now keep your feet, your knees, your hips where they are and begin to walk your hands a few handprints forward of your shoulders. Let them stay as wide as your mat. As you inhale, shrug your shoulders to your ears like you could get longer through the sides of your waist. And now press through your palms to stretch your hips back for puppy pose as your head gets heavy to a block or the floor, bowing in towards yourself. Think of this less like child's pose. So if your butt is on your heels, come up halfway, walk your hands further forward and wider, and see if those thighs can be vertical, upright as you bow in towards the earth. Let your head come onto a block if it's floating up off the ground, so that the weight of your head softens to the earth. Do your best here to breathe, taking a longer breath in. Stay for the exhale, feel the shoulder blades slide towards each other, and let your chest get heavier to the earth. Now as you press down through your hands on an inhale, rise back up to table. Come onto all fours, and as you walk your knees back a few inches behind your hips, curl your toes under and take it up and back to downward facing dog as you lift your hips to the sky. In your down dog, take a peek at your hands and see if anything shifted. Can you bring your hands as wide as your mat? Spread your fingers. And as you press your fingertips down, lift your butt up and back towards the wall behind you as you take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out through every fiber of your being. At the bottom of your exhale, lift your heels, soften your knees, look forward, and one foot at a time, start to walk your feet up towards your hands to come into your forward fold. Those blocks are right there. If you'd like to bring your hands high up onto blocks in front of you, let the floor rise to meet you where you are. You might widen your feet an inch or two or soften your knees in service of giving your low back a little extra space. But as you bow in towards your heart, take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out, letting your head and heart get heavier to the earth. After a few breaths, climb your hands up onto your hips, stand through your legs, and a big inhale brings you all the way up to rise as your hands come down by your sides. Let your feet be right under your hips, let your toes point straight ahead, and on your inhale, reach your arms forward and up to the sky. As you exhale, soften your knees, hinge at your hips to fold over your legs. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, hands to your blocks or shins as you reach your chest forward. And on your exhale, fold, plant your palms onto your sticky mat and step it back to plank pose, the top of your push-up. Now with your knees lifted or lowered, do let your hands come as wide as your mat. Index fingers point straight ahead like number 11s. And as you press through your palms, feel your shoulder blades widen on your upper back like cat pose. And now slide your ears back to come in line with your chest. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, begin to bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Point your feet, let your hands stay wide. Inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra as you lift up through the chest. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog, tabletop, or puppy pose, that pose we did very early on a few moments ago. 3 deep breaths here. The breath moves first in the direction of your heart. Your heart awakens your mind. And your mind inspires the full agency of your body and being. So as you take one more long breath in, let your belly and heart fill with breath. Stay for your exhale. Press through your palms to lift your butt up and back towards the back of the room. Now at the bottom of your exhale, lift your heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward, feet to your hands into your standing forward fold. As you inhale, come up halfway to lengthen. Lean more into the balls of your feet than rocking into your heels. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself. Use your fists and measure your feet 2 fists width apart. That's going to be hip distance. And with your toes pointing straight ahead, bend your knees, sit your hips back, slide your palms up to your thighs for this round of chair pose. Now, as your butt gets heavy to the back of your mat, can you guide your knees open towards your second and third toes? Press into your legs to lift your chest away from the ground. Stay right here for more support in your low back. If you want to add some heat in the upper body, reach your arms up overhead, but listen for your breath. Take a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Think butt heavy to the back of your mat as you lift your chest and your gaze away from the floor. Now on your inhale, come all the way up to rise. Reach up to touch the sky. And as you exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge, and bring your hands high up onto your blocks or fingertips on either side of your right foot. Now spin your back left heel all the way to the floor, and one block and one hand at a time, start to walk your hands to the left corner of your mat. You might be on the floorboards, you might be on your friend's mat, but for this pose called down dog lunge, Feel your legs in Warrior Two. Guide your right knee open towards the pinky toes. And from your hips up, you'll be in downward facing dog. So as you press your palms down and forward, lift your butt up and back towards the long edge of your mat. Take a full breath in through the nose. Stay for the exhale. As your hips lift high, can you bend into your right knee and guide your right knee open towards those pinky toes? Good. Let your head stay heavy. Keep walking your hands back to frame out your front right foot. Look forward. And now all the hops you need to come back into your forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Grow long through the spine. And as you exhale, fold, bowing in. For the second side, keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot back to catch your lunge. With those hands high up on blocks or fingertips, spin your right heel all the way to the floor, and one block or one hand at a time, start to walk yourself over to the right corner of your mat. Imagine like you could split this pose in half. From your hips up, you're in downward facing dog. From your hips down, you're in Warrior Two. So as you press your palms down and away from you, lift your butt up and back towards the door you came in. A big breath in through the nose. Stay for the exhale and bend into your front thigh as you guide your left knee away from your left armpit. Good. Inhale to walk your hands back to frame out your left foot. Plant your palms onto your sticky mat and step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels from side to side. Notice a difference. And with those hands as wide as your mat, inhale through to plank pose. Wait for your exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise for Cobra. Hug the shoulder blades together as you lift your heart up. And on your exhale, take it up and back to downward facing dog. A full breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. Now from your down dog, lift your right leg up and back. Step your right foot through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel all the way to the floor. And now this time, climb your right forearm up onto your right thigh as you bring your left hand to your hip for extended side angle prep. Let your right knee and toes point straight ahead to the front of the room. And now feel, you might even slide your left hand down to the top of your left thigh. Notice if the left thigh is trying to jut forward. Lift your left thigh away from the floor. Send your left butt cheek back until the fabric of your left pant leg starts to crinkle. Now stand down through your left foot, bend into your right thigh as you guide your right knee open. Slide the ribs back, hug the shoulder blades together and lean back. You might keep your left hand here. You might reach it up towards the ceiling or stretch your left fingertips overhead towards the front of the room. But take a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Think right shoulder up and back as you lean back against yourself. Now change nothing in your legs. Reach your left arm towards the back of the room, like someone's pulling you to come up. Inhale to rise for Warrior Two. Stay for the exhale and bend into your front thigh. Now keep the legs steady. Inhale to reach just your arms up. Bend your right elbow. Pat yourself on the upper back and let your left fingertips grab onto your right elbow. Instead of pulling the elbow back, press your right elbow forward to the front of the room and then use your left fingertips to lift that elbow high. Slide the head back to lift your chin and slide the ribs back to steady the middle of your back. A big breath in. Stay for one more exhale. Bend into your right thigh as you guide the right knee open. Good. Inhale to unwind your arms. Let your hands tap the floor and step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels and notice the difference from side to side. And a few more times together with those hands as wide as your mat. Inhale through to plank pose. Wait for your exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise, Bhujangasana, Cobra. And on your exhale, take it up and back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, take your time. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel fully to the floor. And as your left forearm comes to the top of your thigh, start with your right hand on your hip. Parsvottanasana, side 2. Now here, what tends to happen is the chest leans back and the right thigh moves forward. So can you lift your right thigh higher away from the ground, send your right butt cheek back, and feel the fabric of your right pant leg start to wrinkle, creating space. Now as you bend into your left thigh, guide your left knee open. You're creating a hip opener here. Hug the shoulder blades together and lean back. You might keep your right hand where it is or reach it towards the ceiling or straight ahead. But remember your breath. Take a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Bend into your front thigh as you lean back against yourself. Now change nothing in your legs. Reach your right arm towards the back of the room. Inhale to rise. Virabhadrasana 2. Stay for your exhale as you bend into your front thigh. Keep the legs the same. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Bend your left elbow. Give yourself a pat on the back and let your right fingertips hold on. For this version of Gomukhasana, think elbow high to the sky. Gently press your head back. Let there be space in the front of your throat for breath to come through. And now slide the ribs back as you take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale. Bend into your front thigh and guide your left knee open. Now on an inhale, release your arms to a T. Plant your palms onto the earth and step it back to downward facing dog. From your down dog with those hands as wide as your mat, inhale through to plank pose. Wait for your exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise for Cobra. Press your feet down as you lift your heart up. And on your exhale, take it up and back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, lower both knees to the floor, come to tabletop. You can sit back onto your heels, sip some water, take a breath or two, and shake out anything that needs to be shaken. Getting warmer? Every time we come into one more down dog, one more layer comes off. So good, even rate. Let's spend a few moments on the knees now. So if you'd like a blanket underneath your knees for some extra padding, please feel free to find one. But come onto all fours into your tabletop position. Now from table, do bring your hands as wide as your mat. It'll give you a lot more steadiness when your hands are wide. Now stretch your left leg back behind you, curl your left toes under, and as you swing your right heel to the right like a kickstand, turn your left foot to the left heel to the floor, and climb your left hand to your hip. A lot of Simon Says to come into supported side plank, facing the door side of the room. Now here, press your right palm down and forward, and turn the right side of your belly open to the ceiling. Now keep that right hand steady. On an inhale, lift your left leg up off the ground. Flex your left foot and try to straighten your left knee. Reach back through the left heel and slide your chest forward to the front of the room. Now in slow motion, begin to bend your left knee, kick your own butt cheek with your heel, and your left hand might stay on your hip, or you might reach around for the top of your left foot. Instead of pulling your left thigh back, press your thigh forward towards the wall that you see. Push your foot back into your hand and let that turn your chest open to the left, maybe to the sky as you breathe. On an inhale, slowly release the arm and leg. Come back through to tabletop onto all fours and take a breath here in stillness, or a round of breath or two in cat and cow for half bow. All right, let's try the other side. As you come to table with your hands as wide as your mat, stretch your right leg back behind you. Swing your left heel to the left, and as you turn your right heel to the floor, climb your right hand up onto your hip, open up towards the brick wall side of the room. Feel that left hand steady, and like you did in down dog, can you push your left palm down and forward and let that turn your chest open to the right, maybe even up to the sky. On an inhale, begin to lift your right foot up off the ground. Flex your right foot and straighten your right leg. Reach your right heel back like you could touch the wall behind you and slide your chest forward to the front of the room. Now begin to bend your right knee, kick your own butt cheek with your heel. Stay here with your hand on your hip or let your right hand reach around for the top of the foot. Think thigh forward, push your foot back, and feel that touch point turn your chest open to the sky as you breathe. A full breath in, a deeper breath out, and on your inhale, slowly release your arm, release your leg, and come back to table onto all fours. From your tabletop, walk your hands a handprint forward of your shoulders, bring your knees back behind your hips, and take it up and back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, walk your feet to come as wide as your mat, a tiny bend in your knees, and now one hand at a time, begin to walk your palms back to meet your feet so you fold somewhere at the back of your mat. As you bow in towards yourself, let your head be heavy, let your knees be soft. Your hands might catch opposite elbows or tap the floor out in front of you, but take a full breath in and a deeper breath out through every direction. After a few breaths, climb your hands up to your hips. Stand through your legs, and a big inhale brings you all the way up to rise as your hands come down by your sides. Nice. Find your strap. You can unravel it from its rubber band if it's looped into one. And we'll start with a shoulder stretch to begin. So once you have your strap like a big long jump rope, come back to stand with your feet as wide as your mat. And then hold your strap between your hands somewhere at your low back. I like to start a little wider than hip distance. You might be even wider or closer together. But once you hold the strap, bend your elbows a lot, hug your shoulder blades together, and as you inhale, stay standing and start to reach your arms off of your butt towards the back of the room. At a certain point, the last second, those elbows want to lock out, so keep a tiny bend in your elbows, keep a tiny bend in your knees, and as you tug your strap apart, hug the shoulder blades together, and slide your ears back so your head is over your heart. A big breath in. Stay for your exhale as your arms lift one more inch towards the sky. Now slowly let your hands come back to your butt. Ditch your strap to the side. We'll use it again later. Take a big breath in to reach your arms forward and up. And as you exhale, soften your knees to fold over your legs. One hand at a time, start to walk yourself back forward to downward facing dog. Adjust the feet, adjust the hands. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Step your right foot through to catch your lunge. One more time, pivot your back heel all the way to the ground. And on your inhale, rise for warrior two, facing the long edge of your mat, arms to a T. As your right knee and toes point straight ahead, can you look away from the ground, stretch out through the fingertips, and remember your breath. Take a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale, bend into your front thigh as you grow taller through the crown of your head. Now press your right leg straight. Take a big breath in, reach out through the fingertips, and on your exhale, bring your right hand to a block on the outside of your right foot. So do come high up onto a block on the outside of your right leg. Once your right hand taps the block, feel your feet on the ground once again, and now hug your legs in towards each other. Press your right hand straight down into the block. Reach your left arm one more inch to touch the skylights overhead as you lean back against yourself, breathing. Here we go for half moon. Bring your left hand to your hip, look to the floor. Start to heel toe your left foot towards the front of your mat. And now walk your right hand with the block forward of your right foot and slightly off to the right. As you lean into your block, lift your left leg up, just like you did in table a moment ago. Flex your left foot, straighten your left leg. And as you reach back through your left heel, slide the bottom of your heart forward. You might stay here with your hand on your hip. You might reach your left arm up to the sky, but a full breath in. Stay for your exhale. And now stay with that left leg straight, or you might bend your left knee, kick your own butt cheek with your heel, and let your left hand reach around for the top of your left foot. Press your left thigh forward, push your foot back into your hand, and let that action revolve your chest open to the left, maybe even up to the sky. Breathing. On an inhale, slowly release that left leg. Bend your right knee to step your left foot back to lunge. Step your right foot back to meet it, and take it back to downward facing dog. Whee! How'd that go? Okay, we're not quite done yet. So from your down dog, peek at your right hand, and do bring your right hand as wide as your mat. You might even turn your right thumb to face more to the front of the room. Now pivot both of your heels to the right and all toes to the left. And as you press through your hands and feet, lift your butt high up off the earth and begin to bring your left hand up onto your left hip for this version of side plank pose, Vashisthasana. You can always tap your right knee to the floor like you did in tabletop, but lift your hips higher. Think shoulders and ears back to lean back, and maybe your left arm reaches straight up towards the ceiling. Breathing. On an inhale, look to the ground. Bring your left hand to the floor and lift your butt up and back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your down dog, stay here. You might lower your knees to the ground. Your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. But anywhere you so choose to go, can you offer it to your breath? Deepen the next breath in and lengthen the entirety of your exhale out. Good. After a few breaths, come back to tabletop and sit back onto your heels for a moment. Shake it out, sip some water, and take a breath or two. So over the years, I've kind of shared some tips about that half moon pose that we work towards. And just one little suggestion that I noticed is sometimes what happens is that bottom leg and that bottom hip occasionally gets a little cramp in there. So what tends to happen here is you're in warrior two, the legs don't change. You're in triangle pose, the legs don't change. And then as soon as we start to play with gravity, if you look at that bottom heel, it always wants to turn out this way, to adjust. And when that happens, it goes up the legs straight into that hip to make it feel like house of cards. So I want you to think care less about the back leg. It can be, for years, I practiced with the leg here to keep that bottom foot straight. And then only when that bottom leg feels steady does this leg start to lift. Yeah? Should we try it on the other side? Bottom leg. Focus on the bottom one that you can see, and we'll see how that starts to shift. Come into downward facing dog, please. We got the other leg to do. Good. The wrists are going to feel it, but to alleviate some pressure on the wrists, when you bring your hands as wide as your mat, and you turn your index fingers forward like you're making number 11s. You press so much into the fingertips that it feels like your wrists could lift up off the floor. Breathe. Now on your inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Step your left foot through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel all the way to the floor, and on your inhale, rise. Virabhadrasana 2 on the second side. Good. Already here, feel where that left heel and toes are. Can they point straight ahead so that that left foot is parallel to the long edge of your mat? And now look away from the ground. Stretch out through the fingertips. Remember your breath. A full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Grow 1 inch taller through the crown of your head as you bend into your front thigh. Now straighten your left knee. Take a full breath. Get longer through your fingertips. And for Trikonasana, let your left hand tap your block on the outside of your left leg. Good. As you come to the outside of the leg and feel your feet on the ground, hug your legs in towards each other. Now press straight down into your left hand. Reach your right arm 3 more inches to the ceiling and lean back against yourself, breathing in through the nose and all the way out through the nose or mouth. Good. Now bring your right hand to your right hip. Look to the floor. Start to heel toe your right foot towards the front of the room. And as you walk your left hand way far forward, like a footprint forward of your left foot and off to the left, lean into your block and see if that left heel turned out. As you lift your right leg up off the floor, flex your right foot and straighten your right knee. Now reach back through your right heel and slide the bottom of your heart forward, Ardha Chandrasana. Stay here with your hand on your hip or reach your arms straight up to the sky. Keep the right leg straight. Breathe. And then in slow motion, begin to bend your right knee, kick your own butt cheek with your heel, and let your right hand reach around for the top of the foot. Think thigh forward towards the brick wall in front of you and push your foot back to turn your chest open to the sky. A full breath in, a deeper breath out, and then inhale to release the right leg, bend your left knee to step your right foot back, step your left foot back and take it back to downward facing dog. Nice, y'all. Second side looked great. From your down dog, take a peek at that left hand. Let it come as wide as your mat and turn your left thumb to face straight ahead to the front of the room. Now as you pivot your heels to the left, turn your toes to the right, lift your booty way high up off the floor and climb your right hand to your hip as you open up towards the long edge of your mat. Remember, you can always tap your bottom knee down, but lift your booty high. Push your left palm down and forward and turn your chest open to the ceiling. Maybe your right hand stays on your hip. Maybe it reaches to the sky as you breathe. And then inhale to unwind. Lower your right hand, lift your butt up and back to take it to downward facing dog. Nice, y'all. From your down dog, lift your heels, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward, feet to your hands into your standing forward fold. As you breathe in, come up halfway to lengthen, grow long through your heart. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself, towards that own sense of your being. On your next inhale, come all the way up to rise. Reach up to touch the sky, get 1 inch taller than you've been. And exhale to let your hands come down by your sides. Whew, that was one arm balance. We're doing it again in another way. But before we get there, let's find the standing version. So can you come to stagger slightly with your friends? And have a few things close by. So have your strap one more time, like a big jump rope, threaded over your right shoulder, and you might have a block at its highest height, somewhere to the middle of your mat, to give you a touch point. In a moment, we'll come to a few standing balancing poses. So as you come to stand somewhere on your mat, let your feet be hip distance apart. Bring your hands to your hips and unlock your knees. Let the knees be soft. Now lean all of your weight into your left foot, lift your right heel, and let your hands hold in front of your right knee or your right shin. You can always tap your right foot to a block out in front of you to steady the ground. But here, as you hold onto the right leg, feel the left leg. Send the top of your left thigh back, your sitting bones down as you hug the shoulder blades together. Now some options, you might keep your right hand on your knee. You might find your strap and loop it around the ball or the arch of your right foot. As you hug the shoulder blades together, maybe your right leg begins to straighten to the front of the room. Take a full breath in and a deeper breath out. And now bring both edges of the strap into just your right hand, or let your right hand hold your right knee. With your left hand on your hip, begin to open the right leg to the right, 1 inch at a time. As you send that right foot to the right, lift your chest. And now, quite literally, take a bow with the knee straight or bent, bow forward, and send your booty back. Send the top of your left thigh back as you reach your heart forward. And to come upright, it's from the left butt cheek. Send your left sitting bone down to lift the chest, hug the shoulder blades together, And maybe lift your right leg up 1 more inch. Breathing. On an inhale, come all the way back through center. Bend your knee and lower the foot and take a breath. Standing big toe holds, Padangustasana A and B. If you noticed, this is the lunges, and this is triangle pose. Same but very different because you happen to be balancing on one foot more than the other. And now the same story applies from half moon to this. Forget about what this top leg is doing. Usually what happens when we focus on the leg is that the thigh wants to come high, you lean back, and then this thigh goes forward, and it gets very wobbly very quickly. So I want you to think about lowering this leg, sending the top of your thigh back, sitting bones down. You're trying to anchor yourself into your hips. And then as you come upright, it finds a little bit more stability when you think about the bottom leg. Yeah? Second side. I taught this yesterday and I was out of breath in a second. And now I'm out of breath even sooner. So let's do the other side. So please come to stand, stagger as needed. Let the strap come over your left shoulder if you're using it. Unlock your knees. Soften the knees. Now lean into your right foot, hands to your hips as you lift your left heel and let your hands come in front of your left knee or shin to start. Already here, forget about the left leg. Send the top of your right thigh back, your right sitting bone down as you hug the shoulder blades together to stack your head over your heart. And now stay exactly where you are, or you might loop your strap around the ball or the arch of that left foot. Maybe you begin to straighten your left leg to the front of the room with each hand holding the edge of the strap. Forget about the left leg. Send the top of your right thigh back, your right sitting bone down. Hug the shoulder blades together. Now bring both edges of the strap into just your left hand. Let your right hand come onto your hip. And 1 inch at a time, start to open the left leg to the left as you lift your heart. A breath. Now quite literally take a bow. Bow your chest forward as you send your butt all the way back. Bow forward, chest back, the top of your right thigh back. And to come upright, it's your right sitting bone down to lift the chest, and maybe that left leg comes 1 inch higher than where it was as you breathe. On an inhale, draw the left leg back through center. Lower your left foot to the floor, ditch the strap, and feel both feet on the ground. Take a big breath in to reach your arms forward and up. And as you exhale, a generous bend in your knees as you fold over your legs. Walk your hands to the top of your mat, step your feet to the back of your mat to bring it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels from side to side. Notice a difference that you might feel. A full breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. Good. Now from your down dog, lower down into tabletop. Come onto all fours. And to alleviate the wrists for a moment, as you come to table, let your hands come as wide as your mat again. Start by turning your right thumb to face more to the front of the room. Stay here, or you might turn your right fingertips back to face towards your right knee. But claw the fingertips down, lift your chest, and breathe. You might stay still, or you might make gentle circles as you start moving your left hip towards your heel and moving in counterclockwise circles, clawing the right fingertips down into the floor. Good. After a few even rounds of circles, the next time you come back, turn your right hand to face more forward, shake it out as needed, a breath or two. And the second side with your left thumb facing the front of the room, stay here, or turn your left fingertips back to face your left knee. Lift your chest, a big breath in. Open your mouth to let that breath out. And now if you'd like to move in circles, it's right hip towards your heel, and you go clockwise to notice this shift in sensation. I don't actually move anywhere, just the thought of moving creates space in that forearm, but keep clawing your left fingertips down as you lift your chest up. Good. After you've gone evenly from one side to the other, come back through center, shake out the wrists, sit back onto your heels or onto your butt for a moment, and I'll show you where we're going. Okay, so arm balances were promised, and arm balances will be delivered. So we're doing one more round. You yourself have done a whole bunch of this pose in different orientations to gravity. And so this is what it'll look like to start. I'll show you all of the options. We were here before in that version of side plank. This time, instead of bending the knee, you'll draw your knee in towards your chest, like you did when you were just standing, and then maybe this leg opens up towards the ceiling for this version of Vashisthasana, or side plank pose. Maybe you do what you did standing upright. You lift the leg, you bend the knee in towards your chest, you straighten this leg ahead of you, and then this leg reaches up towards the sky as you breathe. Yeah? The third choice out of 4, I'll talk you through all of these, I'm just showing you all the options, is you, with no knees, you come into down dog. And as your hips spin to one side and your chest turns to the other, maybe you don't use a strap and you bend the knee and you open your chest to the ceiling. Or, last and final option, is you bend the knee, straighten this leg out in front of you, and then start to reach this leg up towards the ceiling, Vashisthasana. To come out, you ditch the strap and you come into down dog. And now, we've done this pose a lot. We did triangle pose, we did all those warrior 2s. We did this pose with the knees down on the ground. But this pose is all about that bottom leg. Yeah? So forget about where the top leg is in space. I want you to think about, especially if this bottom knee is lifted, lifting this thigh up and back, up and back. And you see how when I do that, this knee gets higher? As this leg lifts up and back, that's what creates the space for this leg to find spaciousness. And then you come out. Yay! Also, I say this in a joking manner, and I'll say it every single class, but it is very real. A practice of being able to stand in and on and from the heart is looking at something that someone offers you and says, wow, yeah, maybe I can try it. I haven't done this. I want to see where it takes me. Or maybe it's looking at it and being like, Anisha, no, I have zero interest, and your pose an arm balance. You are balanced on your arms. They're just on the floor. Yeah? Everyone have something they want to try out? I'll talk you through it. So if you're using the strap, please set it off to the left side of your mat. And everyone start in tabletop. Come onto all 4s. Now in your table, like we've done all class long, bring your hands as wide as your mat and turn your right thumb to face more to the front of the room. Now here, if you're in tabletop, pause. If you'd like to come to downward facing dog, lift your knees and hips up and come to your down dog. If you're in down dog, pause and breathe. For those in table, stretch your left leg back behind you, swing your right heel to the right and come into your supported side plank that we did before, left hand to your hip. If you're in down dog, pivot your heels to the left, all 10 toes to the, pivot your heels to the right, toes to the left, and now lift your booty high. Bring your left hand to your hip, and everyone open up towards the long edge of your mat. Now here, stay, or you might bend your left knee towards your chest, and let your left hand either hold your left shin, or find your strap to loop it around the left foot. You might keep your left knee bent, or straighten your left leg towards the flat wall, straight in front of you. And as you press through your foot, maybe that left leg, bent or straight, starts to open up towards the ceiling as you lift your chest up, 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 up to turn your heart to the sky. Whee! Good. Good. On an inhale, slowly release your arm, leg, knee, hand, foot, and come back to tabletop. How'd that go? Cusp. Yay. One thumbs up. Many, which I also accept, the full range of the human experience. Any questions I can answer before we do the last side? Talk about the bottom leg again. The bottom leg, so in tabletop, it doesn't lift up off the ground necessarily because your knee is on the floor, but what tends to happen, the tendencies are, it wants to sink down and back towards the heel. So I want you to think up and this way until this bottom knee softens. And now if the leg is straight, if you've taken Larry's class or a bunch of other teachers, this pose, this is the longest answer to your short question, but this pose is sometimes translated to side plank pose, which in other forms of movement, it's a more athletic pose, yeah? Like shoulder over the wrists, you're more at a diagonal. This one, in Sanskrit, it's called Vashisthasana, which is side crescent. So you're not aiming to be in a diagonal, you're aiming to be like a half moon. The butt's really high. So this bottom leg is what's lifting my hips. I'm lifting it up and then back, up and back, that way. And it doesn't actually move football fields of distance. It moves like 1 millimeter at a time. But when that leg lifts, it helps this leg get lighter. Because if I were to try to lift from here, it feels like impossible. So think about not how high this leg can go, but how much can this bottom leg lift you up? Other side, tabletop. When you turn your left thumb to face more forward, you gotta claw the left fingertips into the floor. It alleviates the pressure on your wrists. Now, if you're in table, stay. If you're coming into down dog, come into your down dog, and everyone take a breath. In table, stretch your right leg back, swing your left heel to the left, and climb your right hand up onto your right hip. If you're in down dog, pivot your heels to the left, toes to the right, and climb your right hand up onto your right hip. Now lift your bottom thigh, the left one, up and back, up and back, up and back as you lean back, and maybe the right leg gets lighter. You might bend your right knee in towards your chest and let your hand hold onto your right shin. Or you might find your strap around the ball of your right foot, and as you straighten your right leg to the brick wall, maybe your right leg begins to open up to the ceiling as you turn your chest to the sky, breathing. Whew. When you do not want to do this anymore, you release the leg, you come back through center, and meet in table. Nice, y'all. We'll do it again next month, maybe. This pose, it's called Vishwamitrasana. It's named after one of the great sages of the yoga practice named Sage Vashistha. It's called Vashisthasana. It's named after the sage Vashistha, and he is most famous for many things, but his great epic rivalry and battle with another sage called Vishwamitrasana, Vashistha and Vishwamitra, where this pose that we just did, he thought he could go the easy way out. He could kind of skirt corners, get to the direction he wanted to go. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. And it causes him to have a rift with the other sage. Eventually they come to the same goal, but the poses are so much more than the poses. It's not side plank. It's named after a great lord of one of the yogic traditions. So can you come to one last downward facing dog, please, as you lift your hips to the sky? Let your hands come as wide as your mat. And on an inhale, come forward to plank just for a breath, and exhale to lower all the way to your belly. Take a few extra breaths in your cobra. Lift your heart. Press your feet down. Hug the shoulder blades together. Drink a big breath in. And on your exhale, lower all the way back to your belly. Press up through to tabletop. And in a moment, you'll come to lie onto your back with a couple things close by. So your head will face the front of the room. Your feet will come to the wall behind you. You'll have your block within a grabbable distance and also your therapy balls, somewhere you can reach without having to get up to find them. And if you need therapy balls, feel free to lay down, raise a hand, and I can bring some over to you. But once you come onto your back, bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor, knock your knees into one another, and let your hands come onto your chest. Take a big breath into your palms and open your mouth to let that breath out. Take another full breath in and down. Open your mouth to let all of that breath out. Now here, as you keep your feet as wide as your mat, watching for props or any neighbors around you, drop both of your knees over to the right-hand side like windshield wipers on a car. On an inhale, let your knees come back through center. Let your feet be wide, your knees be wide. And exhale to drop both of your knees over to the left. Do that one more time at tempo with your breath. Inhale to bring the knees up through center. Big exhale to drop your knees to the right. Inhale to bring the knees back up through the middle. And on your exhale, let your knees drop over to the left. Now on your next inhale, as your knees come back up through center, locate your therapy balls, take them out of their tote, and hold a therapy ball in each hand. We're going to roll out the glutes this evening. So as you find a therapy ball in each hand, lift with your knees bent, feet on the floor, lift your butt just enough to pop the therapy balls to the top of your butt cheeks. So think either side of your sacrum, either side of your tailbone, somewhere at the upper fibers of your butt. And then once you find a place you can breathe in and be curious about, let your arms get heavy alongside of you. Let your eyes soften as you take a deep breath in and open your mouth to let that breath out. Now, just as you did in those windshield wipers, keep your feet where they are and gently sway your butt to the right as your knees move a few inches to the left. And then hips to the left as your knees move a few inches to the right. On your own, sway your butt from side to side and feel the therapy balls move along the upper fibers of your butt cheeks. After you've gone back and forth a few times, let your hips and knees come back through center and use your hands and lower the therapy balls another inch or two so they're more in the middle of your butt. I like to start them pretty close together because eventually they'll get wider apart. But once you find this new place, let your arms fall down by your sides, take a big breath in, and open your mouth to let that breath out. And begin that swivel once again. Sway your hips to the right and knees to the left. Hips slowly to the left and knees to the right, following your pace. And as your hips and knees swivel from side to side, you'll feel the therapy balls slowly get wider and wider apart. Eventually, they might end up towards the outer edges and outer seams of your pants. And once you find them there, wider than when they first started, let your hips and knees come back through center. And now, keeping the therapy balls wide, begin to heel toe both of your feet over to the left side of your mat and drop just your right knee to the right so that right therapy ball finds its way into your outer right butt cheek. A big breath in. Open your mouth to sigh it out as you unclench your fists, your fingers, and your jaw. As you come back through center, draw your right knee through center, walk your feet one at a time over to the right. And with your left therapy ball in your outer left hip, drop just your left knee to the left. Take a long breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. On your next inhale, as you draw your knees and feet back through center, use your hands to pop the therapy balls out and let the weight of your butt drop down onto the ground. Can you take a breath into what you don't ordinarily see, but you might more than clearly feel? And as you release the therapy balls off to the side, give your knees a hug in towards your belly or chest. You might make some small circles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you lean gently from side to side. Stay here, or you might widen your knees and thighs. And to come into happy baby, your hands might catch the backs of your thighs, your calves, your ankles, or the pinky edges of your feet. But as we've done so much asymmetrical work this evening, see if you can find some symmetry between the right, the left, and the front and back of your body. A big breath in. And as you exhale, slowly release the hold of your legs down onto the earth. Stretch one or both of your arms overhead. Gently roll over onto any side of your choice. And with the least amount of effort needed, press yourself up to a seat as we take our time to set up for Shavasana, your pose of rest. Now, I want to give you some options. We've done a lot of work in the chest. If you'd like to close in a very supported heart bench, I invite you to do so, bringing one block to its highest height, the other block to its lowest height to the front of your mat. Blanket to drape over so that there's nothing pointy poking into you. And when you come to lay down, you want that block to hit in between your shoulder blades as a shelf for your chest. If you find your way into your heart bench and it doesn't provide steadiness or comfort, but do have your head facing the front of the room, feet facing the back of your mat, as you come to lay down, you might be in this heart bench shape. You might clear the blocks and blankets out of the way and come to lay down onto the ground. You might be curled over onto your side or even laying on your belly. Mind if I adjust this block an inch? There you go. Lift your head just an inch. And now come on down. How's that feel? Better, good. As you let your arms drape alongside of you, you might have your legs out long in front. Let your legs and feet roll open wider than your hips. But let this be a pose not where you're seeking one final stretch, but a pose where you can allow for your entire body to settle and soften into the earth. You might let your hair down. You might set your glasses safely off to the side. And know that at any point you can adjust or shift or move in a way that will allow for you to be even 1% more comfortable than you are already. But in Shavasana, corpse pose, a pose that allows for your entire practice to dissolve. Can you let each round and cycle of your breath start to dissolve the entire practice that was? Let each one of your breaths help you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after creates a little more room for what has yet to come. So as you take a long breath in and down, let your exhale move up and out through every fiber of your being. And each round of breath that you take might allow for your physical body to become heavier against the earth. And the heavier your body becomes, the more spacious and the more expansive you may just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a deeper breath out. Take another breath in and down so it fills you up. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in with any gentle movement that feels supportive to you. You might roll your wrists or your ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you gently tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against its support. Or as you begin to bend both knees, feel your feet flat onto the floor. Reach one or both of your arms overhead as you take a long breath in and a deeper breath out. Now you might either catch the backs of your legs and slowly curl yourself up to a seat, or gently roll over onto one side, off of your blocks, onto the earth, and press into the ground to come up to rise to a tall seat facing the front of the room. But as you find your seat, let your eyes soften or close so you can listen once again for your own breath. Take a deep breath in and down so it fills you up completely. And exhale to offer the breath up and out in every direction of you. Our time together will finish with one more of those breaths. You can place your hands to center anywhere that feels for you. As you take a deep breath in, to offer all of it out. You might bow your head to your heart or lift your hands towards your head in such a simple but profound gesture of self-reverence, bowing to your heart and the hearts of each other who practiced right alongside next to you. And I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Thank you. Drink water, take good care of yourselves and one another. I'll slowly turn the lights up, but if there's any props or things you used or your own mats that you want to give a swipe with, there's a bucket over here of fresh, clean wipes to give things a little tidy. And then announcements-wise, at the studio this Sunday, Elizabeth Zach has been hosting sound baths with crystal bowls, and they've been going so beautifully, and she's doing one more this Sunday in the evening. So if you are around, you want to get transported into the astral plane psychologically, Sunday night might be the time. But that's all for me. Anyone else have announcements? Any things in your worlds to know about, to see, to do, to go to that other people might want to know? We're still hibernating, me too. But if there is stuff, always feel free to share it. But I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Thanks, Natasha. Good to see you. Good to see you, Jonathan. No casting announcements.